Okay. Today is the 10th of July, and it is 9:35. Basically out for the rest of vacation. Tomorrow is my last day here. I'm sad. I'm happy, but I'm mostly sad because I only get to be at this place about 2 weeks out of the year. It's just like I've grown up here. I've been here about every year except for 2. I've been here for 12 years now. Tomorrow we are going to basically pack up. My mom's going to sleep on this bed. I get to sleep. Here, let me show you my bed. Just so you know, I can sleep in any shape. In London, I slept in the shape of an L with 2 legs on a seat going across the aisle to another seat. Yeah, I get to sleep in that. It's a very comfy recliner. There's a footrest for it under my jacket. So yeah, that's where I get to sleep. Now, I have not done this video thing in 3 days. So let me tell you, first day was a completely basic day. Nothing at all happened that I can remember. The next day was our journey to Colorado Day. So we went in this thing called a loop. And it's just this link of cities. Now, there were originally 3 cities we were going to do. We were going to go to Lake City, another town, and then Uray. But we only got to the second town for many reasons. One of which was we had a tire blowout. And when I say a tire blowout, I mean like a Dane Cook tire blowout. My tire flew off. And what was once a safety harness was now a strap-o-death. So we managed to get, we just left Lake City, stopped by there, got on Geek Force for like 3 hours. No one emailed me except for Justice. Shame on you. Let me think. After that we went to the second town. It was a pretty big town. It had a super Walmart and stuff like that. Oh, let me tell you about that. A couple things happened at Walmart. One, it took 3.5 hours to get a tire change. Which, honestly, to most people who haven't changed a tire, that sounds like a very little amount of time. But when we put on the spare on the side of the road when the tire first blew out, it took us about, maybe a third or a fourth of that time that it took them at Walmart with an experienced crew, with tires lying around everywhere, with lifts and tools. Insane. Yeah, we also ate at about 6:30 that morning and didn't eat until about 12 hours later. I'm a teenager. I eat all the time. I was like withering and dying. You could see the life just being sucked out of me. But anyways, at Walmart it was so beautiful. They had about a 3 or 4 foot tall stack of Nintendo Wiis. And I just sat there and stared at them for like 5 minutes. And then I looked over behind them, and there was a Nintendo Wii on display that you could play. And it was Mario Kart. I'm like, oh yes. It's like a gift from God. And I go over, and he tricked me. Just warning. Major geek content. There are 2 ways. There's a lot of ways you can play Mario Kart Wii. One way is when you use both parts of the controller, the nunchuck, with a little D-stick, and then, the actual remote that makes you go and stuff. And then there's the normal way, when you just take the normal Wii remote, the rectangular one, and you put it in this mold called the Wii wheel. Then you drive by that. So this is what that display was. It was a controller with a nunchuck fastened to this stand with a lock and all that kind of stuff. Only it was a special kind of, controller. So you couldn't take it out and you couldn't unplug the nunchuck. It was screwed in there. So it was just like a custom ordered business thing. And I start to play, and then I'm holding on A and nothing's happening, which A usually means go. So then I pause it, and I throw the nunchuck on the ground, and I turn the remote sideways, and I hit A, and I start to drive. That means that the nunchuck is broken, and that I'm having to use a Wii wheel style of playing without the Wii wheel. So I'm just holding this little tiny bar of plastic, trying to balance it in a way, and when you drive with like the nunchuck, you like just go back and forth or in a straight line. When you drive with just the remote, you go everywhere. It's like when Dane Cook does that thing when he's going like this, he says he's all over the road. You are all over the road. You can't stop. You can't do anything. It took me like 10 minutes to figure out how to throw an item. So I got an average about 5th or 6th place when I would have been smoking. I would have been probably lapping 150cc CPUs. So anyway, that was my nightmare at Walmart. So we do that, we drive back home, we get back at about 10 or so, I read, I finish the book, Brave New World is done. Now I've got to read this book called Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and it's about 100 pages. However, 2/3 of those pages are pictures of seagulls, which is kind of more like it's not really a book, like a fictional thing. It's kind of an unrealistic poem, but it's not a poem. I mean, you just kind of have to start it. So I'm starting that tonight. Today, you know, we got up, I ate, I slept until about 9, which is an hour later than I'm used to, so I'm getting my teenage back. And we had that family come over, Lance, and, you know, his teenage daughter, which started to save my mind. But, however, then I had to endure an hour and a half of conversation without me saying anything, so I just sat there. Now, if I stood up, it'd seem rude. So I'm just trapped in the chair o' death of cramps. So I get up, finally, when everyone starts to break up and there's just a break. So I go over, and I come over here to this couch, and I sit down and listen to my MP3 player for half an hour. Then, my grandpa and I go fishing. We go to this pond. It's a really small pond. It's maybe the width of a football field or less. And we start fishing in there, and there was probably a fish would jump at least once every 5 seconds. And when they jump, they don't just, you know, make a ripple. They go parallel to the ground. And one actually went 2 feet up in the air, flopped there, and then came down. It was like trapeze magic. So we went fly fishing, you know, where you throw it up and put it back down, this little tiny fly kind of hook. And,
Somebody in the bathroom?
just a second. I'm doing my video thing. Yeah, it's Grandpa.
Grandpa?
He's in the bathroom.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So, we were fishing. I put 2 casts in, and I caught a fish. Like, awesome, because I haven't caught a fish yet this year. And then I do about 5 more strikes, and I catch another fish. Like, awesome. So, total today, I caught 6 fish. I had to throw 2 of them back, because you're only allowed 4. And I caught the biggest. My grandpa only caught 4, and I caught 6, but I had to throw 2 of them back, so we were only left with a total of 8. And I caught the largest one, and it was a 13.5-incher. That's a pretty big fish. We were psyched, and then my grandpa showed me how to gut them. Thank God I had eaten about 4 hours earlier, or else, for the first time ever, I would have actually felt or tasted my food before I saw it, without shoving my eyeballs down my throat. No, that would have been bad. Fish are really disgusting on the inside. And when you touch them, and they wriggle around, they just flop, their scales come off, and they like fuse with your skin. I had to get a sponge and scrape that stuff off for a long time. Alright, I'm starting to run out of time. I've got only 2 minutes left. So,